Hi guys, it's Simon from SA Tuning. Here we are, episode 3 of Tuning Talk. It's been a little while since we've come to you. We've been really ram-packed, really busy, which is cool, you know, and we're getting lots of your cars in, but yeah, it doesn't help to be able to get out to you guys and have a chat. So the idea of Tuning Talk is to be able to, for me to just sort of freely have a chat with you guys. You can ask us questions as well. I am going to look like I'm looking at my phone, but I'm not really. I'm checking the comments on the video, so don't think that I am being just a bit... I'm actually looking at the video, the comments for the video. So yeah, Tuning Talk. We're going to look at doing development cars and just showing you some of the development cars. You may have seen our B9 S4 that we've talked an awful lot about, we've shown lots of pictures about. It's really exciting because it's a platform that is sort of relatively new to tuning properly, because the protocols have only been out not very long at all, a couple of months. You've had some hardware modifications out there and things like that, but nothing to really able to really back it up with. So I wanted to go through that with you as well. There'll be an opportunity to win some stickers today as well. So what I would say with the opportunity to win some stickers, we've got some down here, which are our Instagram tag, and you can also have the stickers on the back. All right. So to win one of those, the person that gives the best explanation for what torque is, okay? So what is torque? If you can tell me what torque is in the comments, we'll be able to get back to you, because we'll be able to look through all the comments, we'll get back to you, and the best explanation that I see, you will win some stickers, and then you can tell us what colours you want and we'll get them shipped out to you, all right? So if you know the best of what torque is, or you can explain it really well, drop us a comment, and we'll decide who's the best one, the best explanation, and we'll get some free stickers out to you, which is pretty cool. Also, during this chat, if you feel like you want to, my phone's not working great. If you feel like you want to ask something, there's something you want to say, and there's anything you want to ask, no worries. Jot us a comment. We'll have a look. We'll go through it, and we'll see if there's something that we can answer you. I might not be able to answer every question due to not having all the information to hand, but I'll do my absolute best for you. So since the last Tuning Talk live, nothing else has really changed in the workshop. Everything's sort of still been the same. We haven't got anything new. I mean, we've still got obviously our four-wheel drive link dyno. Everything else is pretty cool. But today we're trying to bring back. Now, if you've been following us for a while, you'd know that we've got a Mark 5 Golf that was a GTI. It's now something ridiculous. But Spa 2 years ago, when we took it to Spa, I blew it up. And I'm actually pretty cool about that. I'm actually quite happy about that we blew it up, because now I know where things stopped working. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get it back alive. So what we've been doing today is, if you follow me, oh dear. So you'll have to excuse the mess of the workshop. You'll have to excuse that it's just a bit savage today. But what we've been doing is, this is another car that I've had for a long time. That had a CDL engine in it as well. But what we've done today is we've pulled that out and we fitted all new parts to this, okay? So the major upgrade that we didn't have previously is this beautiful hybrid turbo from Venom Turbos, okay? So we do an awful lot of work with Venom. This turbo is good for braking close to 470, 480, something like that. So yeah, we're going to try with Venom turbos and see what we can actually really hammer out of one of these. I mean, everything's done to the engine inside, everything's good, you know, we know that's fine. But that is ready to go back in our Mark 5 Golf that has been sadly sitting outside getting lonely for the last... 2 years now, something like that. So it's about time really I did something with that. And that's what we're going to get round to, because we are going to the Autosport International Show at the Birmingham NEC in January, where we have got lots of things going on there, but we wanted to take the car to there as well. So that's why we're trying to get it ready. If you have any questions, or you have you want some information about hybrid turbos, we do an awful lot of work with Venom turbos. So they build them. We develop all the software to go with them to make them do what they're supposed to do. So if you have some questions, or you have a car that you think you might like a hybrid turbo on, just message us. You know, we're more than happy to have a chat with you about that. And we can even build stuff that's custom. We can get Venom to build stuff that's custom to that car, or custom to your design or your needs or whatever you want. That's not a problem at all. That is a pretty good explanation from Marcin Bredick there. So that's pretty cool. We'll have a look through that, see if we can't get any more, or if there's any other ones. If there are any other comments, then we'll go through those. If not, then that is a pretty good explanation there. Pretty impressed with that. That's all right. So yeah, we're going to bring back alive our Mark V GTI. That's no longer a GTI because, well, it's a GTI. There's plenty of dies on there. So yeah, that's what we've been doing today. Just trying to get this ready, with the core being completely different to a stock KO4. So the core itself is what's mostly important, and obviously getting more air in and having bigger fans and so on and so, bigger compressor wheels, extra. But the core itself is what it can handle. So most stock KO4s, you'll be lucky to really push past 1.6 bar without doing some sort of damage. I'm going to stand up because my leg hurts. About 1.6 bar without doing some damage. Where these cores, you can sort of start running them at 2 bar. Now, it's not the amount of pressure that's the problem. It's how fast they turn when you're actually running them at high boost. So the faster the compressor wheel turns, the faster the shaft turns, the hotter the bearings get. All those sorts of things happen, and the hotter everything gets, the more damage you start causing. So it's not necessarily how much you could probably run a KO4 to hit 2 bar. It will probably get there, but whether the bearings inside it and the actual internals of the turbo is going to last very well, probably not. And that's why things that get uprated, so yes, it is a bigger compressor housing, yes, it is a bigger compressor wheel, and yes, it is an exhaust side as well that's bigger, but the internals have been uprated to a point which they can take 2 bar of boost, you know, so that's pretty cool. I was going to show you our diesel as well, our 1.9 turbo diesel, but that's decided to get a flat battery. And to be honest, the last time we used that was at the Nürburgring, and that was a little while ago, and yeah, that's just been sat there, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's that one. As I say, don't forget, if you want to ask something, just jump on the comments, ask something there. I've got the phone in the hand. You know, we'll probably have, should be able to answer most of the stuff that's happening. So yeah, cool. What I also wanted to show you is our B9 S4. As I say, we've talked a lot about it. You might have seen loads of pictures, but I just wanted to go through with you what we've done, where we're at, what's happening, what's the future for it, what's the future for the platform, and go from there really. So if you follow me, guys, we'll go under the car that we've savaged today. So this is our B9 S4, okay? And so we've done actually quite a lot of stuff to this. Excuse the state of it, it's been to Wales and back over the last 4 days, and it's performed faultlessly, to be honest with you. So yeah, we're really pleased about that. But the major upgrade, again, is this turbo here. Okay, this is another Venom turbo. Now this has got, internally, it's got ceramic ball bearing turbo. Now that is fundamentally important, as most other turbos and all the other turbos that you'll see will be journal bearing. Now journal bearings are weaker than ceramic ball bearings because of the heat, because of the speed, because of everything in the shaft, in the internals. So yeah, ceramic ball bearing turbo, this turbo is good for almost 2.5 bar of boost. Now in this car, that is a phenomenal amount, all right? So the fundamental differences between this and an RS4 is a different exhaust manifold, because the RS4 has 2 turbos, and yeah, that's it. Extra turbo and the exhaust manifold. There's some slight differences in the pipework for the intake system, but fundamentally the head, the block, the engine itself is identical, okay? So with this turbo that we've had fitted so far, we've got another turbo coming which is even bigger very shortly. That should land with us from Venom. So as I say, they're building them, we'll develop the software for them. Yeah, so with this turbo that we've hit so far, I'm not going to tell you exactly yet, but we've gone well past the 500 mark. Well past the 500. Like, that's gone. You know, and since an RS4 comes out of the factory at 462, yeah, that's rapid. I love this thing. Like, this is my daily driver. And the reason I've done it and the reason I got this car is because A, the platform's very new, and B, if it blows up on me, I'd rather it do that to me than I would to a customer's car. So we know what we're doing. So we're doing full, actual, real world, hardcore tests. So yeah, You can plug all the sensors you like into this. You can run it on the dyno as many times as you like. You can do all the software development, and that's great. Using it day to day can be different. And I would rather this gets used day to day in all sorts of circumstances. So any niggles, any issues, any problems that arise from using it day to day, I can resolve and we can resolve. So therefore, when we give it to our customers, you have the peace of mind and you have the opportunity to just drive it normally without any aggravation, because we've gone through those hard yards. And that's the same with really pushing the 2-litre TFSI. That's the same as really pushing the 1.9 turbo diesel. That's the same with really pushing some BMW diesels. And all the stuff that we do, we've actually really tested it hard. And we've made sure that it's the right thing in the real world. So great, you can hit 1 million horsepower on the dyno, but you go out and drive it on the road and it just doesn't do what you want it to do. You might be having like hours and hours of turbo lag before it all cuts in. And you think, well, what is the point in that? You know, you'd rather have much better drivability than you would having a massive turbo that takes 6 years to spool up, 6,000 RPM, there's all the boost, and it finishes at 7.5. So your whole power bound is like 1,500 RPM. Well, that seems a bit silly to me. So we'd rather it actually feel as epic on the road as the figures that you hit. So the other modifications that we've done, barring the turbo, we've built and made this intake system. There are some companies out there that do an intake system, but they wanted some absolutely ridiculous amounts of money. We've been running this on the car now for nearly 3 months. It's been absolutely mint, not a single problem at all. So that's that. As I say, the turbo, all the charge pipes, everything else is completely 100% stock. The DV valve is stock. All the actuator is stock. It's a vacuum controlled actuator, so you don't need extra springs or anything like that. Everything else is stock. We've removed the internals of the catalytic converter, so that is basically just a big empty space in there, and that goes all the way through. So we've turned off the O2 sensor, the second O2 sensor that would show up an engine management light had we not turned that up. Now the second O2 sensor is really only there to measure the efficiency of the cap. The primary O2 sensor, the first one, is measuring AFR out of the engine. The second one is literally only there to measure the efficiency of the cap. Well, there is no cap there, so we turn it off in the software, otherwise you're going to get an engine management light. So that's that. So that's the intake, that's the turbo, that's that. We've also got, I don't know if you're going to see it very well, but the Wagner intercooler comes up from here, so it's like here to here. That's where the Wagner intercooler is. The stock one is just a little strip that runs down here. All right, it's woefully small. At stock, doesn't matter. That's awesome. When you start winding things up, especially with boost pressure, physics 101. Everything that gets compressed more, so the molecules start hitting each other, which causes more friction, which causes heat. Heat is a bad thing when it's going into the engine. That's the last thing you want. The denser, the cooler the air, the better combustion and the better explosion you get in the engine, more horsepower. The hotter everything is, the less energy it has to actually form a proper combustion in the chamber. Therefore, when you have a really, really hot day, you'll normally find that cars will run less brake horsepower. You go out at 0 degrees C, it's dry, your turbocharged car feels amazing. And that's because everything's cooler and denser. But we've sort of forced that with this absolutely massive intercooler. Now, we're suppliers and fitters of Wagner intercoolers. So that's from everything that they do, we can supply and fit. We do quite a lot of BMWs in our Stage 2 BMW package. These aren't too bad to fit at all, but you need to know how the bumper comes off, because everything has to come out, and then you actually have to make some brackets that come with the kit, but you have to bolt them in and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. So that's what we've done there to keep all the intake air temperatures as low as physically possible. Now currently, it's not too bad. Even running big boost with the turbo, the intake air temperatures are pretty cool. You know, they're all right. I'm not starting to look at, well, we need water meth to run that. Why would you fit water meth? Well, water meth literally dissipates all the heat inside the cylinder by injecting sort of water and methane and methanol, and the methanol raises the octane of the fuel, and the water dissipates the heat inside the chamber. So it's not like you're pouring a tap in there, it's like a really fine mist. But what that does is the water then collects the heat and dissipates it out of the cylinder. But we're not at that point, so we can run plus 500 brake without any issue at all. So I also like to be able to tell people what they need and what they don't need. don't want people, and I'm not one of these people either, that will tell you you need something for no reason at all. What's the point? If you don't need it, don't waste your money on it, spend your money on other things. If you do need it, we'll tell you, yes, you need X, Y, and Z. That's why a lot of stage 2 packages will say you'll need this, you'll need that, you'll need this. But if you don't need it, we won't tell you to get it, because it's an utter waste of time. I mean, you could sit there and you could spend sort of 12, 13, 1400 pounds on a water meth kit for just running this turbo. You don't need it. I mean, this has been driven hard on the road, and I mean hard. Full data logs, intake air temps, absolutely mint. Stock charge pipes, you don't need to upgrade those, they're really good. Nothing's cracked, nothing's expanded, nothing's had a problem. So yeah, like if you don't need it, we'll tell you you don't need it at all. What else have we done? Well, cosmetically, the grille's different. Again, excuse the fact that it's absolutely filthy. This was supplied by Xenons UK, as with the front splitter. That's supplied by Xenons UK as well. And I think this splitter, personally, there are some out there, I think this is the best one that's out there, hence why it's fit to my car. But each people can be different, I suppose. But the grille is really, really cool. That fits. If you've got an Audi or you've got a Volkswagen Audi group, Xenons UK stuff fits beautifully, really well. There was no aggravation fitting that whatsoever. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. And the same with the splitter. What else have we done? Well, I'm sure you've realised that the colour is slightly different. There's a full wrap on the car as well. I'll just grab a torch to see if we can't show you. So if you haven't seen any of the pictures already, like it changes colour in the light. So when the sun comes out, this thing absolutely goes berserk. And you wouldn't miss us even if you tried. So yeah, so that's another one. We've also, what have we done? We've dropped it by 20 mil. We've dropped the whole car by 20 mil. The problem that you have is when you start dropping cars even lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, you really do start to affect how the car feels, how the car handles. There is a fine line between making it look absolutely phenomenal and then ruining your driving experience as well. So we felt that 20 mil was a good drop. It certainly started to feel the wheels and the arches, and it hasn't affected the drivability at all, which is pretty cool. We've also stuck some spacers on it as well. There's 15 mil spacers on the front. There's 20 mil spacers on the rear, as we try and keep the wheel coming out a little bit, so it just fills the arches. Otherwise, it looks a little bit in granddad mode when it's stock. When we obviously picked the car up, we had proper granddad blue. That's the original colour of the car. So we had proper granddad blue with all chrome. Oh yeah, it looked like I was old. So we thought, oh well, we've got to change that straight away. So yeah, if you, stage ones, no hardware modifications required. Absolutely not a problem. We're doing day in, day out. Stage 2, the hardware modifications, we'll know pretty much exactly what you'll need. We'll be able to give you an exact price with all the parts supplied and fitted and everything. The stage 3, where it's all the sort of development stuff, yes, it's all doable. Yes, we can do it. But yes, we will make sure that what we're doing is right for you, is right for the car. You know, nothing's being pushed way too hard. There's not sort of an issue with it. You know, so yeah, this is the platform that we're really excited about and working on at the minute, because this is kind of an unknown. You know, we don't know where they're going to stop. But yeah, as I say, like well past the 500, like about a long way, and there's still more to come. The head, the block, the oil temps, everything looks really good. The oil looks absolutely phenomenal. We drained it sort of once a week just to make sure everything's okay. They do run really crap oil. Well, it's not crap, it's just like water. It's like 0-20. We have wound this up to nearly about 120 degrees, 125 degrees C in the oil, and the consistency of the oil and the quality of the oil still looks absolutely mint. Not a problem there, so that's pretty cool. But the reason I run 0-20 is because the oil pumps that are in here, they find it really difficult to start picking up anything thicker when it's cold. So they had to make some compromises in there. So they've got 0-20 with loads of minerals in it, loads of all sorts of stuff. I mean, the oil is actually green, for God's sake, you know, when you look at it. It's really, really bizarre. But it works fine, it's okay. But if we didn't test that, or if I didn't test that on this car, absolutely belting the crap out of it and making sure it's okay and then draining the oil out and things like that, you know, there's always the opportunity, if people don't do that, that you can give your car back that could potentially have problems in the future. And that's why when we do stage 3s, we do hybrid turbos, we do big stuff, we make sure that what's actually happening, because that's going to be a big downfall in a lot of things, make sure that what's happening is going to be right, is going to be correct. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll wait for the comments. If you watch this video afterwards as well, I'm going to give everybody until tomorrow. We'll say tomorrow midday. So all the comments regarding if you can give the explanation of torque, the best explanation, we will get you some free stickers out. So yeah, we'll give you that until 12 o'clock. But yeah, that's kind of what we get up to. For purposely today, I left it quite quiet in the diary so we could actually start getting on with stuff and start bringing our Golf back to life, get that turbo in, and do a few little odds and sods on this. But yeah, we'll make sure it's okay. Stage 1, absolutely not a problem. Everything's cool. Stage 2, no worries. Stage 3, yes, but it doesn't happen overnight. And if we are going to do a stage 3 on something that we haven't done previously, we will test it. We will make sure it's okay. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's been really cool to be with you guys. If you've got any other questions in the meantime, you know, like when we're finished here, please feel free to message the page. That's not a problem. Yeah, that's kind of it, guys. All right. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun explaining you to you. All right. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. Take care.